afternoon. Welcome to Cricketomania Heroes and Zeros. From March 4th, 1992, the World Cup in Sydney to today in Adelaide. India has won once again against Pakistan, the 6th World Cup. And of course, a stupendous one, considering that we were going in with a lot of pessimism and not very high expectations. Ayaz Memon, Chandresh Narayanan, right here. We're waiting for your comments and questions as you pour out your heart if you have any heroes and zeros. Ayaz?
Well, look, first things first, I think one thing should be clear that we were, this was a terrific win because India going into the tournament looked like they were struggling a bit. And for me, what's been remarkable is all the guys who looked like they were a little out of form or there was some self-doubt creeping in, they are the guys who've actually done well. Okay. So it's Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, it's all the bowlers and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I think, people discount the kind of leadership qualities he showed today. He was attacking, he kept slips for the spinners, he changed his bowlers around extremely well. And let's not forget Suresh Raina's contribution, that late flourish which he gave us. So, a terrific team effort, but I must temper that by saying this was a very, very mediocre Pakistan team.
Okay.
Very mediocre in batting and bowling. They were as, they were as brittle as papad, roasted papad.
But is that because, the composition of the team, or are you saying the team is it's the same team, but
no, I think the composition of the team is poor. They've lost some very good, good players, key players. The bowling attack is, everybody talks of Pakistan's fine bowling, but this doesn't look like a match-winning attack to me at all.
Okay, Chandresh, quickly.
I tend to agree with Mr. Memon, and also I find that it was a confused Pakistan side. They tried to push Yunus Khan to open the batting. I think that's where they lost the plot.
Bali ka bakra.
But that's right. That's right. Yeah. And because they have to somehow try and play him, just like it's in India. When you have a big star player, you need to play him in the 11. The same thing with Pakistan. I think that's where they lost the plot, and India benefited from the confusion in the Pakistan ranks.
Okay, so let's look at one by one. First of all, what was the cool stuff that happened this time, Ayaz? Not just in this match, but in the World Cup as well, as we've now started watching it actively.
You mean as a spectacle?
Yeah, as a spectacle, apart from the stumps and things like that.
Yeah, so there's obviously there's greater use of technology, say even from last time.
Yeah.
So even for instance, one of the big decisions which came today in the match, maybe it wouldn't have altered the result, but it was a big decision, was Umar Akmal's dismissal, which Dhoni asked for as a review. The minutest of nicks or the edge was there, because if you watch it very closely, maybe you see a little deviation. The umpire who's reviewing it overruled the field umpire, and so maybe it will create some awareness in the BCCI that DRS is not all that bad. But as a spectacle, look at the number of people from Asia.
Yeah.
The Indians and the Pakistanis.
The stadium was almost entirely
I read a tweet which says, I didn't know that Adelaide had become an Indian city.
Or a Pakistani one for that
matter. Or a Pakistani one for that matter.
Chandresh, anything else that you noticed that was different this time?
I think the overall atmosphere at the ground, unlike 92, this looked more like a global event. 92 seemed, Mr. Memon was there, I think, at the 92 World Cup. Yeah. It had a more Australian feel. This time it looks like a more global feel. Just my reading of having seen this World Cup in the first 2 days. I think that's the big change in my view in the World Cup.
Okay, so let's pick up the Indian batting first and go sequentially. So big surprises, and hero and zero of course is at the end, so don't go away for that. Yeah, big surprises.
No, I think the big surprise is obviously, it's not a surprise in that sense. It's a great thing that has happened. Shikhar Dhawan, he was on the brink of being dropped from the team.
Yes.
He was on the brink of losing his place in the team. He's come back over the last couple of matches. This innings today, till he got run out, unfortunately, I think will not only give him his place back in the team, more security there, but I think it will allow him to flourish. This was a psychologically big match, however weak the Pakistan team was. And I think that he has now got that self-belief back. Rohit Sharma was the man in form. He didn't make too many runs today. But Virat Kohli, I think he has now taken on that mantle that he has to bat out 50 overs. And that's what he was trying to do. Perhaps you can nitpick a bit that approaching his century, he slowed down just a little, just a tad, and that's where Raina's
because everyone was saying, could we have had 20 runs more and so
on. It's a fair argument in hindsight. But when you started the match, if you said how much would you be satisfied with, most people would have said 300. We are happy against Pakistan.
So, at 280 we felt it was.
At 280 we felt it should be 330, 325.
Okay, Chandresh.
I think
what struck you in the batting?
The batting, Raina's approach. I think he was very confident, especially taking on the fast bowlers as well. You would have expected that he would struggle, but I think Pakistan missed the trick again. They used the spinners against him first, and I think that's where they again that showed the confusion in the Pakistan ranks. I think Raina's approach, especially in the to give the innings the momentum that they needed was very good.
So there is a purpose behind what Virat Kohli's role is now. It's emerging, obviously, is that you got a lot of stroke players. You got a Rohit Sharma, Suresh Raina, Ajinkya Rahane, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who may have license to kill if there's a pivot who stays and bats through till the. So if Virat also starts batting like Raina and Dhoni, then you might land up in a bit of a mess. You might lose wickets in a heap.
Okay.
I think this is good strategy. Somebody has to play the fulcrum.
Right. So let's look at a picture of the stumps and the bails, if we can get that, and we'll show you what the. Okay, we'll get that later. But here's of course the victory picture. Okay,
That was when he made the century.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Can we have the victory picture, please?
This is when he completed his century.
Yeah.
Virat
Okay.
Kohli.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get that picture back. Yeah, go ahead.
Interesting one is that Virat scored about 8 centuries now while batting first, and India's won 7 times out of 8. So that's an interesting stat to look at as well, because we're looking at Virat Kohli.
He's also the first batsman to score against Pakistan.
In the
A
World
century
Cup
in a World Cup.
match,
In a World Cup match.
So that we always look at Virat Kohli as the big match player and the finisher and the chase.
Yeah.
But he's shown that while batting first as well, he's pretty good. So I think that's a interesting.
I think clearly what he's shown is that he's a big stage player, a big occasion player. He got into this tournament with scores of 10, 12, 8, something like that in the one-day matches, and he comes here. This is the biggest stage, India versus Pakistan in the World Cup. Never mind the quality of the opposition, it's the nerves, and he goes and makes 100. He's a big occasion player.
Yeah. Okay. So let's. Anything that Ayaz gives you the confidence that we've now moved on to a slightly higher level to take on the really big challenges that are ahead. For example, next week.
Well, the confidence comes from the discipline of the bowling today.
Okay.
You know, the opposition, again, I must reiterate and emphasize, was weak.
Yeah.
But the bowler showed a lot of discipline. There was a certain game plan in place. Maybe they worked overtime in planning out Pakistan's dismissal, and we'll have to wait and see how they do it and plot for South Africa and some of the other teams. But you know, I mean, what we've seen so far of, say, Shami, you know, in the recent past, that you would be very wavered. You would have 3 good balls in an over and 2 bad balls. So you know, it all gets washed away if you give so many loose deliveries, which was not happening today. The spinners bowled well, the fast bowlers bowled well, and the one big difference. In fact, there were 2, which I must bring to notice here. One is our fielding was far better, which was always going to be a big difference. The other was, look at the way Shikhar and Rohit, and then Rohit and Raina ran between wickets. You can't. The Pakistani batsmen just didn't seem to have the legs or the urgency to take singles and twos.
Yeah.
And they allowed the game. They allowed themselves to be tied up.
Yeah.
And when you have a mounting run rate, then you panic and then you throw your wickets away.
Okay. So let's stick to India for a little longer. So you're saying very strong run play between between wickets. Strong partnerships, therefore.
Partnerships, yes.
Shikhar Dhawan, Raina, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. Virat, of course, as you are saying now, is assuming more greater proportions.
He's become the fulcrum of the team.
He's become the fulcrum, yeah.
You know, so people have to play around him. He's your best batsman.
Right, and good bowling performance. Anything else you want to add to that,
I think the performance of, as I said before, Raina is the key. Who's coming into form. I think they showed good awareness of the situation. I think that's where I think Ravi Shastri has come into play, wherein they pushed up Raina to push up the scoring rate further after Shikhar Dhawan got out, and also maintain the left and right hand combination over there. I think that's the big change. They're not sticking to a particular game plan, and ensuring that they evolve with the situation.
Okay, right. So we've got the victory photograph now. So we're just getting it from fresh off the presses, as it were. Right, and that's
yes, if you see Mohit Sharma, Jadeja, and R. Ashwin, who are prominent along with Dhoni, you might think it's Chennai Super Kings, which has won, but it's not. But it's the Indian team playing the World Cup.
Right. Okay. Yes, Chandresh.
Yeah, and also if you are superstitious, last time, the first match of the World Cup, Kohli scored 100, we won the tournament. Right. This time again he's done that. So just
Kohli has now 22 centuries, as I was seeing in one day.
He's got 22 centuries in ODIs, he's got 10 centuries in test matches, and he's only 26. So you can go and figure what kind of a talent he is.
And at what point he'll overtake Tendulkar.
Well, Tendulkar, I mean, that's the academic discussion, but I'm just saying these numbers are mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling. Okay, good. So let's move on to the next phase, which is the Indian bowling and the Pakistan batting. So what stood out for you, Chandresh?
I think Shami's approach really stood out for me. The way he got Yunus Khan out, Yunus was in no man's land. It was sensational. I've never seen an Indian fast bowler getting a Pakistani batsman out. We've seen Pakistani fast bowlers do that to Indians, but
the first bowler to make a Pakistani wear a helmet was Kapil Dev when he almost knocked Sadiq Mohammed on the head. So don't discount, don't undermine India's fast bowlers.
But I saw a lot of ducking today by the Pakistanis. I mean, of course,
Shami,
towards the end.
Shami is sharp. I mean, just to kind of second what Chandresh has been saying, Shami is sharp. He's just been too wayward.
Yeah.
You know, and I think today he seems to have got. Ultimately, any sport is a matter of confidence and self-belief, and it seemed today, more than anything else, more than the individual efforts, that collectively the Indian team seemed to show a lot more self-belief.
Right. Okay, so there's a question for you, Ayaz. It says, what's your prediction for India quarter-final or semi-final before we come back to the batting?
I would say, on the strength of today's performance, I would be very disappointed if they're not in the semi-final.
Okay.
If, you know, we all thought India's bowling is a big letdown, but if they bowl like this, they could, you know, I mean, see, once you're in the semis, it's a, you know, how well you play, maybe 5 overs, 10 overs, one good day, anything can happen. But if they don't reach the semis, I would be very disappointed.
Okay, let's come back to the India bowling. So Shami, you said, was one, and what else is there? Again, I come back to the fundamental question: are we seeing the build-up of something concrete, a strong foundation, which can carry them to the more challenging matches ahead?
I think a spring in their step, you know, which was lacking. We didn't see it in the Tri Series. It seemed like they were jaded, fatigued. There were so many stories, and we also made a little fun of Dhoni, saying that, you know, he asked for rest and recreation and, you know, switch off from the game, and he said, what nonsense, the world is coming up. Maybe that's helping. And I think Dhoni's own contribution in this match cannot be undermined. I mean, he didn't make too many runs. He looks a little rusty still with the bat, but I thought he was far more involved and imaginative as a captain than I've seen him in a long time. You know, he's usually tends to be a little defensive when the spinners are bowling. Not today. Against Pakistanis, who are very good at playing bowling, he had a slip in place, he had a short cover, a short mid wicket. So he's putting pressure on the batsman.
Let's look at the Pakistan batting. So obviously Misbah al-Haq was the sort of star of the game.
If you look at the last 5-7 years, usually he's the last man standing when everybody else has deserted the cause.
So as someone, I heard one of the commentators saying there's one match going on, you know, with the team, and there's him playing another game.
Another game. It's been a pattern in Pakistan cricket. I mean, we've had Yunus Khan making a lot of runs lately. But otherwise, it seems to me that 41. I mean, he was 37, 36. Now he's 41. He is the last man standing, you know, all the time.
So terrific performance.
He's a terrific performer. I don't think he has the kind of resources available around him to cause any major upset. I know it's premature to say, and this is limited overs cricket. Pakistan looked a hopeless team in 1992. They went on to win it.
Right.
So, you know, we could all have egg on our faces, but this is a team which looks to me to be struggling.
So what was the turning point in this match?
Well, I think the fact that Pakistan, the much wanted bowling, couldn't restrict India to about 280. I mean, we all said India should have made 325. I think 300 was a big psychological barrier. When you face a total of 300 in a one-day game, you start worrying. And that was, I think Misbah and all the others must have known their batting didn't have that kind of strength. And then, of course, came that 2 wickets in 1 over when, you know, you suddenly are from 1 wicket down to 3 or 4 wickets down. You know the match is gone unless there's a miracle. But miracles may happen once in a lifetime, not in every match, you know.
Same turning point for you, Chandresh?
I think turning point for me was the approach of Ahmed Shahzad. I think he claims to be, and he's built up in Pakistan as the Pakistani Virat Kohli, because they started off at the same time in under-19 cricket, and he looks like him for a bit.
The same intense look.
Yes.
And you can read his lips also.
Absolutely. So I think his approach, I think, was disappointing, and I think losing Umar Akmal cheaply. Shoaib Maqsood was a very responsible shot. I think he was being built up as the new Inzamam-ul-Haq because of his lazy approach. I think that's where they lost the plot, and then Misbah, as usual, was left to do all by himself. And in the end, just like in 2011, he was just fighting a lone battle, and now he'll face a lot of brick bats back in Pakistan for his slow batting. But the fact is, he doesn't have anybody to support him, and the batting looks very weak if none of the others stand up to be countered.
Okay, so so bowling, we're saying you're confident that things have Ayaz, that
on the evidence of what we've seen today. Yes, you know, if we have a very good match against South Africa, and when I say very good, I mean,
and you're saying bowling, you're saying spring. You said say spring in the step. So you're not saying that the technique is better or people are looking better prepared, but you're saying they're just more at it.
I don't think that the talent of the Indian team or the players was, you know, I mean, these guys are very talented. The bowlers were short of experience
Yeah.
in international cricket. The batters, the batsmen have been around for a while. I think if we have a good game against South Africa, a close match, never mind if we don't win it. If we win it, terrific. But if we have a really close match and the bowlers do well, then I think it will really kind of add a lot of heft to India's prospects in this tournament.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about the next match. So now we've said here are our strengths in batting. Here is where we are looking confident. Here is where we've demonstrated something. Similarly in bowling, this is where we've showed up a little bit. How is all of this preparing us for next Sunday?
I think that India, if they've followed the South Africa-Zimbabwe match, will take some heart. I mean, South Africa are a formidable team. They bat very deep. They've got high-quality bowlers, which is what helped them win a match. Which at one stage, it looked like they would be struggling big time. They were 83 for 4 in about 21, 22 overs, approaching the halfway mark, and the top order gone, including Amla and De Villiers. And from there, they make 339 for 4. They've got batsmen of the caliber of David Miller and JP Duminy and some of the others. And when you have a total like that, 99.99 times out of 100 South Africa will defend it because they've got the bowling attack to do it. So while the Zimbabwe players showed a lot of gumption and spunk even while batting, South Africa is the team to beat because of the depth of batting and bowling that they've got. And if India run them close at this stage, in the league stage, then I think it will be a big jump in morale.
Okay, and I will also sort of remind both of you that your individual winners were New Zealand and Australia.
Yes,
for the tournament.
Well,
favorites.
Yeah.
New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and India were my picks for semi-finalists. But New Zealand, I still fancy a lot.
Okay, next Sunday.
Next Sunday, I think. India may struggle to beat South Africa, but I think, like you said, getting them close will be the key for India. The big thing is that the last time we played them in a one-day tournament, ICC tournament 2 years ago, we beat them, and Shikhar Dhawan was the reason for that, and he scored a big 100 then. I think that will give India confidence. Today, the way Zimbabwe performed against South Africa, that should give confidence to most teams in this group, because Zimbabwe didn't run them close, but they showed a bit of fight.
And it should put the fear of God in the Pakistan team. If Zimbabwe play like they did today against Pakistan, then Pakistan is going to be up
in trouble.
In
so
big trouble.
I just noticed, that in the 5 matches that were played and we won against Pakistan, Sachin Tendulkar was man of match for 3.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Just noticing. It's going to be interesting how many Tendulkar records will come up against
Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
over time. I mean, maybe
But Virat Kohli has been such a dominant player already at the age of 26. Not that Sachin wasn't at 26, but Sachin started at 16.
Yeah.
Virat started at maybe 20, 21, and in 5 years he's amongst the top 3 in the world.
Right. Okay, great. So let's move on to our question of the day, wherein we pick our hero and zero, or heroes and zeros as the case may be, and that's why we are all assembled here on this lovely Sunday evening. Ayaz, why don't you go first? Let's debate it a little, and then let's finally say, like.
For me, the heroes are all from the Indian team, unless I can give a kind of a consolation award to Misbah-ul Haq for showing great spirit.
Sure, yeah.
But otherwise, the heroes, Shikhar Dhawan showing resilience, Suresh Raina showing a lot of brilliance and flair, the bowlers, and he mentioned Mohammad Shami. I thought he was sharp and he was far more accurate, picked up 4 wickets, so he's been the pick of a bowling attack which really delivered. And Mahendra Singh Dhoni's imaginative captaincy, I thought, I was really looking at him very intently, because to me Dhoni is a very crucial figure in this tournament. His mood, his moves are all very crucial. And then there's Virat Kohli, who became man of the match.
And zero?
Almost all of them would be from the Pakistan team, but I think the biggest disappointment.
But anyone in the India team who didn't perform just because we won doesn't mean everyone played equally.
You can say that Rohit Sharma played a loose shot or a poor shot and got out cheaply, but they had given a decent start by then. So there's been no rank failure in the Indian team. Even
any individual who did not shine the way he should have?
Rohit is the only one I can think of.
Okay, Chandresh?
I think Shikhar Dhawan would be my pick for the hero of the day, because I think he set the tone for India, and I think his coming to form is very good news for India's campaign. I think if he can fire at the top of the order, that will ease some sort of pressure from the middle order, and I think that he's obviously the key for India.
And the zero?
0, I think from the Pakistan side, I would say.
No, from the Indian side. I want to know from the Indian side. Don't duck it.
From the Indian side, obviously Rohit. It's very unfair to call him a 0 of the match, but probably he didn't perform with the bat. But he set the tone again with Shikhar Dhawan at the top of the order. So I would say from the Indian side,
I mean, you've been following Rohit Sharma's form. I mean, you've written an article on Boom. So
okay. No, I think frankly, all the
and
zeros.
We are only selecting with the match. I mean, this is
zeros
not a tournament.
Today's zeros. Almost all of them are from Pakistan. There are quite a few zeros there.
Okay.
So it's not isolated. There's I think Yunus Khan, Gamble misfired. Exposed the batting very early on. Ahmed Shehzad he mentioned, though he made a lot of runs, but the kind of time he took and his approach muffled Pakistan's response. So he was, I think, a bit of a disappointment, and so too Maqsood. I thought even the Pakistan bowlers, Mohammad Irfan was thought to be the terror who could demolish India. It didn't happen. In fact, he bowled quite a lot of what I thought were beamers or near beamers, showing nerves more than anything else. Okay. So if you don't get early wickets, you are not successful.
Right. Okay. So final hero and 0, Ayaz, as we close.
Virat Kohli for me, and I would say Yunus Khan.
Okay.
Shikhar Dhawan, hero. Yunus Khan, 0.
Okay, so Yunus Khan is both this thing, and you're saying Virat Kohli and Shikhar Dhawan. Good one. So let's conclude there. Thank you very much. We've had a great start to our sort of performance at the World Cup. This was in Adelaide, the 6th one that India won against Pakistan. Hopefully there'll be more successes, but we'll be watching out and for South Africa next week, among other days. Thanks for watching.